I usually check out the junkyard about once a week, and had a bit of an unusual find yesterday. This thing is huge. But someone dumped their old gaming PC, so let's take a look, see if we can get it working. So we got an NVIDIA graphics card, looks like fairly high-end, 120mm water cooler, and a Corsair HX 1050 power supply. So we got a freaking 1000-watt power supply. And they removed the hard drive, but it looks like everything else is here. Got an optical drive. It's missing the front intake cover and the rear panel, but it looks like everything else is here. Keyboard. Let's see what we get. Hey, look at that. Okay, so we got Z68 Extreme 4 Gen 3 CPU. We got a Core i5 2500K, or is that 2600K? 2500K, so it's overclockable. 8 gigs of RAM. Detected the DVD drive. Date time not set, so we got a dead battery. That water pump doesn't sound too healthy. It's making sort of like a grinding noise. BIOS works. Yep, so we got two 4 gig sticks of memory, 1333. CPU temperature is 27 Celsius, pump's working. Everything looks okay. Well, I guess the next step is to get an operating system on here. Looks like the graphics card's in the way of the CMOS battery. So let's see what we get here. So it looks like we've got a Sandy Bridge based system. Let's see what our graphics card is. It doesn't wanna. Yeah, so we got a GTX 680. That's actually fairly high end. I wonder how much VRAM that has. I'm thinking maybe 2 gigs or something. Remove protective film before use. Oh yeah, it does still have all the plastic on it. I'll leave that on. It's not too dirty. Alright, so the battery's back in. Gotta reset the BIOS to defaults. So F2. Load defaults. Save and exit. Yep, so no boot device. I guess I'll use one of these refurbished hard drives I got. It's a 2 terabyte, nothing special. So any pressure on. Okay, let's load in some windows. Let's see if I can get it. Alright, so use the hard drive. Okay, that's weird. I was unable to format the partition. So let's check the BIOS. Apparently the reset button on the case doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Storage configuration. Let's change that to AHCI. Bum bum bum. 0 to 5 bootable devices. Okay, so this is an extra SATA controller. So we'll switch that to AHCI. So apparently, did they put the hard drive on the wrong controller? Because all it sees is the DVD burner. Alright, I guess I'll move that. Save changes. Come on. Alright, it's now quite a bit later after having installed all the drivers, getting Windows up to date. And I just realized that the GeForce GTX 680 is actually a DirectX 12 graphics card. So if I actually want to run DirectX 12, I'm going to need to install Windows 10 on here. But for now, let's see if we can get the graphics card fired up in here. So I installed the Unigen Superposition benchmark. Let's see what happens here. This monitor doesn't even support 1080p. So let's do 7. Can I do 720 medium? Apparently not. Yeah, let's try this. OpenGL DirectX 720 high. Ew, okay, medium on textures. Let's see. Give that a shot. Okay, so we're getting 62 FPS. Looks good. Granted, this is at 720p. So I've got myself a nice secondary gaming machine. I guess next step will be to clean the dust out of everything. Alright, so now I am running Windows Startup Repair because in an attempt of doing some basic overclocking to see how fast I can get the CPU to go, suddenly it just started blue screening all the time, and so I started backing off on the overclock and it was still blue screening. I was like, what the heck? I set it back to defaults and it was still blue screening. So, I don't know, maybe it just screwed something up on the hard drive when it was booting and crashed. But that's weird, I've never had that happen before from overclocking and blue screening on startup. So, hopefully it can fix it. Alright, well, some time has passed, so I was unable to repair the Windows 7 install, so I said screw it, put Windows 10 on it. I'm running Unigen Superposition again. I was able to overclock the CPU to 4.7 gigahertz without too much trouble. I could probably get a little bit higher, but 4.8 did not want to even get into Windows. But 4.7 seems pretty stable. And there we go, 6835. Then let's fire up CPU-Z here. And there it is, we got our Sandy Bridge running at cool 4.7 gigahertz. Not bad at all for a junkyard computer. So I'm hoping to make this a continuing thing whenever I find anything interesting at the junkyard. Usually going to be, electromechanical of some sort. I think the only thing left to do with this is give it a treatment of some compressed air. Maybe get a new case for it, because this one's missing the rear and front panels. Still the front one down there, or the side panel.